They all laughed when they slid the cheapest Thanksgiving gift across the table and told me not to spend it all in one place. I smiled, tucked it into my wallet, and forgot about it until 9 weeks later, when I looked at my phone and saw 99 missed calls from the very people who had mocked me. The smell of roasted turkey used to make me feel safe. Growing up, Thanksgiving was the one day my mother insisted everyone put their differences aside. My older brother Ryan would stop arguing about politics. My younger sister Emily would put her phone away long enough to eat. My aunt would stop criticizing everyone's life choices for at least an hour. Or at least, that's how it had been years ago. By the time I turned 32, Thanksgiving had become something else entirely. A yearly reminder that I had somehow become the family disappointment. Not because I had done anything terrible. I had never been arrested, never borrowed money from anyone, never caused drama. I simply hadn't become successful in the way everyone expected. After my divorce 2 years earlier, I moved into a tiny apartment on the edge of town. My marketing job disappeared during company layoffs, and despite sending out hundreds of applications, I was piecing together income through freelance work. Meanwhile, Ryan had a beautiful house. Emily posted glamorous vacations every month. My cousin Daniel had just sold his startup. Every conversation somehow circled back to their achievements. Mine ended with awkward silence. My mother tried to hide her disappointment. She wasn't cruel. She just had that look, the one parents wear when they imagine a different future for their child. That Thanksgiving morning, I almost didn't go. My finger hovered over my phone. I could fake being sick. Nobody would question it. Instead, guilt won. I drove 40 minutes to my parents' house with a pumpkin pie balanced on the passenger seat. The driveway overflowed with expensive SUVs. Mine was the oldest car there. Ryan noticed immediately. He always did. "Still driving that thing?" he asked before I even reached the porch. "It gets me where I need to go." He laughed. I guess that's one way to lower expectations. Everyone chuckled. I forced a smile. Inside, the house buzzed with conversation. Football played in the background. Kids ran through hallways. The kitchen smelled incredible. For a moment, I thought maybe this year would be different. Maybe everyone had matured. Maybe I was imagining the distance between us. Then Aunt Carol spotted me. "Oh," she hugged me tightly. "So," she leaned back. "Found a real job yet?" The room became suspiciously quiet. I smiled politely. "I'm freelancing." "Oh." That single word carried enough disappointment to fill the house. "Well?" She patted my shoulder. "Something permanent will come eventually. Eventually." That word haunted me. Eventually, eventually, eventually. As though my life were permanently on pause. Dinner began with forced laughter and practiced smiles. Dad carved the turkey. Mom passed mashed potatoes. Everyone complimented the food. Normal. Until Ryan raised his glass. "I've got an announcement," Emily squealed. "I knew it," Ryan grinned. "Sophia and I are buying the lake house." Applause erupted. Dad nearly cried. Mom hugged them. Champagne appeared from nowhere. Then Daniel announced his company had expanded overseas. More applause. Emily revealed she'd become regional director. Another celebration. Then, silence. Every pair of eyes slowly drifted toward me. Mom smiled gently. "What about you, Ethan?" I hated that question. What about me? Anything new? 20 faces waited. I swallowed. I picked up 3 new freelance clients. Nobody meant to be rude, but disappointment spread across the table anyway. Ryan shrugged. Baby steps. Someone laughed. I looked down at my plate. Turkey suddenly tasted like cardboard. After dinner came our strange family tradition. White elephant gifts. Maximum budget, $5. Supposedly everyone brought something funny. Cheap, ridiculous, harmless. People opened mugs, lottery-themed socks, chocolate bars, tiny puzzles. Everyone laughed. Then my turn came. Ryan reached beneath the table dramatically. "Ooh," he smirked. "This one's perfect." He handed me a tiny envelope. It felt almost empty. Inside. One single $2 scratch-off ticket. Nothing else. No card, no note, just the ticket. Ryan couldn't stop grinning. Don't spend it all in one place. The room exploded with laughter. Daniel added, if you're lucky, maybe it'll pay next month's rent. Even Emily laughed, not maliciously, just following everyone else's lead. My face burned. Mom looked uncomfortable. Dinner's over, she said quickly, but the damage had already landed. I stared at the tiny ticket. $2. Not because it was inexpensive. Because it felt symbolic, like someone had placed a price tag on my worth. Ryan leaned over. Who knows? He winked. Maybe you'll become a millionaire. More laughter. I folded the ticket carefully, slipped it into my wallet, and quietly excused myself. Outside, cold November air filled my lungs. For several minutes, I simply stood beside my car, listening. The laughter inside drifted through the windows. I wasn't angry, not exactly. Just tired. Tired of always being the joke. Tired of pretending comments didn't hurt. Tired of measuring my value against everyone else's success. I climbed into my aging sedan, started the engine, looked once more at the glowing windows of my childhood home, then drove away. Life returned to normal. December blurred into endless work. Freelance deadlines. Late nights. Bills. Christmas came and went. I skipped the family gathering, claimed I had deadlines. No one argued. January arrived. Snow covered everything. One rainy Tuesday morning, while buying coffee before meeting a client, I reached into my wallet for cash. The scratch-off ticket slipped onto the counter. The cashier looked at it. You gonna scratch that? I almost laughed. I forgot I even had it. Could be worth something. It's $2. So? He smiled. Some people change their lives with less. I hesitated, then bought another coffee instead. The ticket went back into my wallet, still unscratched. 3 days later, my landlord called. The building's shutting off water tomorrow. Again? Pipe burst. I sighed. That night, while digging through drawers for spare change to do laundry elsewhere, the ticket appeared again. Same folded corner, same faded envelope. I stared at it. Maybe Ryan's joke deserved an ending. I grabbed a coin, sat at the tiny kitchen table, and slowly scratched the silver coating away. One symbol, then another, then another. My heartbeat slowed. I frowned. Something looked wrong. Or maybe impossible. I checked the instructions, read them again, then again. Surely I was misunderstanding. I opened my laptop, searched the game's prize chart, compared every symbol. My hands began trembling. No, I whispered. There has to be a mistake. I grabbed my coat, ran through the freezing rain to the nearest convenience store. The clerk scanned the ticket. Instead of smiling, his expression disappeared completely. He looked at me, then looked at the screen again. Finally, he quietly said, "Sir, I can't pay this." "What?" "You need to contact the lottery office immediately." My mouth went dry. "Is it?" He lowered his voice. "I think you've won something. Very, very big." The world suddenly felt unreal. I stumbled outside, into the rain, staring at the tiny ticket in my shaking hand. A joke? A $2 joke? That was somehow turning into something else. Something that would change every relationship in my life. I had no idea that before the truth became public, before I even claimed the prize. My phone would begin ringing, again. And again. And again. Until one morning, I would wake up to 99 missed calls, all from the family who once laughed the hardest. Ethan stood beneath the convenience store awning as cold rain soaked the parking lot. The tiny scratch-off ticket felt impossibly heavy in his hand. The clerk's words echoed in his ears. "You need to contact the lottery office immediately." His first instinct was disbelief. His second was fear. He tucked the ticket back into the envelope, zipped it inside an inner pocket of his jacket, and drove home without turning on the radio. The silence felt safer. Every red light seemed to last forever. Every passing car made him wonder if somehow everyone already knew. His apartment had never felt smaller. He locked the door, checked it twice, then pulled out the ticket again. The symbols hadn't changed. Neither had the prize instructions. He called the lottery office the next morning. After several transfers, a calm woman introduced herself as Michelle. "Can you read me the serial number on the back?" His voice shook as he did. The keyboard clicked on her end. A long pause followed. "Mr. Carter?" "Yes." "I'll need you to keep that ticket somewhere secure." "Okay. You'll also need to come to our headquarters in person." "So, it is a winner?" Another pause. "I'm not authorized to discuss prize amounts over the phone." His stomach tightened. "But I strongly recommend you do not lose that ticket." 2 days later, Ethan walked into the state lottery headquarters carrying nothing except his wallet and a folder containing identification. He hadn't told anyone, not even his closest friend, Marcus. A security guard escorted him to a private office instead of the public claims desk. That alone made his heart pound. Inside waited 3 people: Michelle, a claims manager, and a legal representative. The atmosphere wasn't celebratory, it was serious. Almost intimidating, Michelle smiled warmly. "Before we continue, we'd like to verify the ticket." She placed it into a scanner. Seconds ticked by. The computer chimed. The claims manager looked at the screen, then at Ethan. He smiled. "Congratulations," Ethan exhaled. "You are the sole verified winner of this drawing." His eyes filled with tears. "I actually won?" "You did." "How much?" The manager slid a folder across the table. Ethan opened it. His vision blurred. He blinked twice. Read the number again. Then once more. He honestly thought someone had printed it incorrectly. It wasn't thousands. It wasn't hundreds of thousands. It wasn't even 1 million. His hands began to shake uncontrollably. No words came. The manager nodded. "We get this reaction often. For nearly an hour, they explained taxes, legal procedures, publicity options, trusts, financial advisors, and security recommendations. One sentence stuck with him more than any other. Don't tell anyone until you've assembled a professional team." He nodded. That sounded easy. He wasn't planning to tell anyone, especially not his family. Over the next 3 weeks, Ethan quietly met with attorneys and financial planners. For the first time in years, people listened carefully when he spoke. Not because they pitied him, because they respected him. It felt strange. He paid off every debt: his student loans, his car loan, his credit cards. His landlord nearly fainted when Ethan prepaid an entire year of rent. Still, he kept living exactly the same. Same apartment, same old sedan, same coffee shop, no designer clothes, no expensive watch, nothing that hinted his life had changed. Marcus noticed something anyway. "You seem," he searched for the word, "lighter." Ethan smiled. "I've just been sleeping better." "You finally get a huge client?" "You could say that." Marcus laughed. "I've known you 15 years. You smile different now." The news broke before Ethan was ready. Someone inside the lottery office leaked enough details that local reporters began investigating. His name wasn't released, but rumors spread online. People speculated. Neighborhood Facebook groups exploded with theories. The mystery winner had supposedly come from his county. Then one reporter found an old public record connected to the claim paperwork. Within hours, his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He ignored it. Another? Ignored. Another? Again. Texts followed. "Hey, long time. Remember me? Call me ASAP." Old classmates, former coworkers, people he hadn't spoken to in years. By sunset, he turned the phone off. Sunday afternoon came another surprise. A knock. His mother stood outside. Alone. She looked nervous. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" "I was in the neighborhood." She had never once been in the neighborhood. Not in 5 years. He invited her inside. She looked around the apartment. "I didn't realize how small it is." He smiled politely. "It works." She hesitated. "I've been thinking about Thanksgiving." His expression softened. "I shouldn't have let everyone laugh." "You didn't start it." "But I didn't stop it." Silence filled the room. Finally, she whispered, "I'm sorry." It was the first genuine apology he'd received from anyone in the family. He believed she meant it. Before leaving, she hugged him longer than usual. "You've always had the biggest heart." When she left, Ethan almost told her everything. Almost. Instead, he watched her drive away. The next morning, his phone exploded. Ryan.Emily, Daniel, Aunt Carol, voicemails, texts, more calls. He ignored them all. By lunchtime, 32 missed calls. By dinner, 58, the messages changed in tone. "Call us. We need to talk. It's important. Why aren't you answering?" Then came one from Ryan. "I know about the ticket." Ethan's pulse quickened. How? Only a handful of professionals knew. Unless someone had talked. That evening, the local news aired a story. A record-setting scratch-off prize has officially been claimed by a resident of Brookfield County. No name, but enough details. Purchased after Thanksgiving. Claim delayed several weeks. $2 holiday edition ticket. Ryan didn't need his name. He remembered exactly who had received that ticket. The calls became relentless. Family group chat, private messages, emails, even social media requests. His phone vibrated so constantly that he finally turned it face down. The screen lit up again, and again, and again. Late that night, he finally picked it up. 99 missed calls. 99. From the same people who had barely checked on him after his divorce, who forgot his birthday, who laughed when he received the cheapest gift at Thanksgiving. He stared at the screen for a long time. Then another notification appeared. Ryan had sent a single message. Ethan frowned. What could that possibly mean? A minute later, another message arrived, this one from his mother. For the first time since claiming the prize, Ethan felt something worse than shock. He felt dread, because whatever the truth was, it had been buried long before Thanksgiving, and somehow, that little $2 scratch-off ticket was connected to it. Ethan stared at the two messages until the screen dimmed. Ryan's text. "We need to discuss something Dad never told you about that scratch-off ticket." His mother's. "Please don't answer anyone until you hear the truth from me." For a long moment, he simply sat on the edge of his bed. None of it made sense. The ticket had been a joke. Ryan had pulled it from a white elephant gift exchange. Everyone had laughed. What secret could possibly be attached to a $2 scratch-off? He locked his phone and tried to sleep. He didn't. The next morning, there was another knock at the door. This time, it wasn't his mother. It was his father. He looked older than Ethan remembered. His shoulders, once broad and confident, seemed to have collapsed inward. "Ethan." His voice cracked. "Can I come in?" Ethan hesitated before stepping aside. Neither of them spoke until they were seated at the tiny kitchen table. Finally, his father pulled an old, worn leather wallet from his coat. From inside it, he removed a faded photograph. It showed Ethan at 8 years old, standing beside his grandfather, both of them grinning. Grandpa George was holding a handful of lottery tickets. Ethan smiled despite himself. "I remember that day." His father nodded. "So do I." Silence settled between them. Then his father took a deep breath. "That ticket wasn't supposed to be a joke." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" His father leaned back. "Your grandfather had a strange tradition." Ethan listened carefully. "Every Thanksgiving, he bought lottery tickets." "I remember. But you don't remember why." His father looked at the photograph. "He believed luck meant nothing if you didn't share it." Ethan said nothing. So every year, he secretly picked one person in the family. One person? The one he believed needed hope the most. Ethan's heart skipped. When he died, his father's voice softened. "He asked me to continue the tradition." Ethan blinked. "So, the ticket." His father nodded slowly. "I bought it, but Ryan gave it to me. I asked him to." Confusion washed over Ethan. But why would everyone laugh? His father closed his eyes. "Because Ryan didn't know." "What?" "I never told anyone, not even Mom. I kept the tradition private because your grandfather insisted that hope should never come with attention." Ethan struggled to process it. "So Ryan really thought it was just a joke?" "Yes. He picked your envelope randomly from the gift pile." His father looked down. "And when everyone laughed, I should have stopped them. I didn't. I've regretted it every day. Ethan's anger slowly gave way to sadness. His father wasn't making excuses. He looked genuinely ashamed. I failed you, he whispered. Not because of the ticket. Because I stayed silent. A tear rolled down Ethan's father's cheek. I watched everyone measure your worth by your income. I watched them forget the kind of man you'd become. You never asked us for money. You never blamed anyone after your divorce. You kept showing up, and instead of defending you, I stayed quiet. I'm sorry. For the first time in years, Ethan saw not the strong father he'd grown up with, but a man carrying the weight of his own mistakes. Later that afternoon, Ethan agreed to attend one final family dinner, not because he wanted answers, because he wanted peace. When he arrived, the atmosphere couldn't have been more different from Thanksgiving. Nobody laughed, nobody bragged. Ryan was the first to stand. I owe you an apology. Ethan looked at him silently. I thought I was being funny. Ryan swallowed. I wasn't trying to humiliate you. But that's exactly what I did. I'm sorry. Emily stepped forward next. I laughed because everyone else did. I should have defended you. Aunt Carol wiped away tears. I judged you by your career. I never noticed your character. One by one, every member of the family apologized, not for the lottery, for the years before it. For every careless comment, every comparison, every joke, every moment Ethan had been made to feel like he mattered less. Then Ethan stood. He reached into his jacket. Everyone held their breath. He removed the winning ticket, still sealed inside its protective sleeve. He placed it gently in the middle of the table. This, he said quietly, isn't what changed my life. The room stayed silent. I thought it would. I thought money would erase every painful memory. He looked around the table. It didn't. It only revealed people. Some lowered their eyes, but it also revealed something else. He looked at his father. It gave us one last chance to become a family again. Ryan cleared his throat. I need to ask. Ethan smiled. I know. The money. Everyone looked uncomfortable. Ethan continued before anyone else could speak. I've already decided what I'm doing with it. Several weeks later, the town gathered outside a newly renovated community center. A ribbon stretched across the entrance. Above the doors hung a bronze sign. Inside were free career workshops, financial literacy classes, scholarships, a food pantry, a counseling office, a job placement center. Everything Ethan had wished existed when his own life had fallen apart. He had quietly funded it, not because he wanted recognition, because someone else might someday walk through those doors believing they were a failure. And leave believing they still had